Hey, good evening, listeners from Nigeria, across Africa, here in the United States, and around the world. This is Smart Mado Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Nigeria Now Global Matters are rising. Good morning, Africa, reggae at its best on ONN. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was hot here, but everybody inside and they're watching the World Cup. I hope your teams are winning. And for those joining us from everywhere on the surface of this earth, we say welcome. And if this is your first time, we urge you to subscribe to our channel. And ONN is a channel for global peace through justice, global stability, global great everything. We don't discriminate on the basis of race, skin color, and whatever religion. And you heard Peter McIntosh talking about justice, right? And where there is justice, there is always peace, Fight against apartheid. And what are we going to be talking about today? It's going to be about Nigeria, all things considered. And so if you are a Nigerian joining us for the very first time, we welcome you and urge you to share our message, share our channel. And we are proud to say that we are the best alternative media in the nation. And we speak absolutely the truth. We are not scared of faces. We are not scared of statuses. All we care about is Nigeria and its well-being and its people. And we'll do whatever we can with the help of everybody to unite against terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. So are you ready? Are you ready for this evening show? We apologize for the long absence from the stage. We are dealing with some very important things that we needed to do to put us in a good state to minister to the people of the world. Remember, a certain place in Africa, black man got no recognition. So we go fight against apartheid. Still gotta fight against apartheid. Yeah. They shoot on the children across the border. They shoot on the women across the border. They shoot everything. Hey, we gonna fight against apartheid. Brothers gonna fight against apartheid. Yes. You too. We do not have, the rights over the music that we're playing, but we have to play to justify, to buttress the message we're about to pass. All right, all right. Fight, fight, fight against apartheid. Break out from Britain, here Nigeria. Break illegal. That's the way they work. They build their forces from colonial powers. They gave my diamond, building ballistic missiles. Fight, 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 fight against apartheid. Brother, sister, brother, fight, fight, fight against apartheid. Join in the fight, 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 fight against apartheid. We gonna fight, 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 fight against apartheid. All right, all right. All things considered in Nigeria, all things considered. So we're gonna start with all the brouhaha about Nasir El-Rufai as governor of Kaduna State. Yes, as Minister of Federal Capital Territory. All right, a threat to national security of Nigeria. A real troublemaker from the Fulani tribe. Yes, those who claim that they are the owners of Nigeria, that we are about to tell that no, you don't own Nigeria. We accommodate you in Nigeria, but you don't come and tell us that you own Nigeria. He thought that he was untouchable, that nobody could touch him. That is the typical way Fulani elites in Nigeria think, that they are above the laws of Nigeria and so they are untouchable. You know, and this is not to write off the entire race. I say some. Yes, Fulani elites. They are the greatest trouble Nigeria has. Right now, they are the ones who divide the country, that makes the country not to work. So the people of Nigeria must have to wake up and do what they must do to retake their country. That is what this whole thing is about. He was arrested for fraud, corruption. In addition to what we know about him as one man who for 8 years as governor of Kaduna State supervised the serial murder of thousands of innocent and defenseless Nigerians in Kaduna State. Yes, in a nightly raid by Fulani militias, that he allegedly was one of those who brought them into Nigeria in 2015 to blackmail the people of Nigeria into supporting Muhammadu Buhari, a Fulani candidate in that presidential election for that year. Yes, they brought them, and those are the ones that when you hear about terrorism in Nigeria, they are responsible for it. Their mission is to destabilize the country. So El-Rufai was arrested for billions of naira fraud as a state governor to account. And since then, you know, it's been like a god was arrested in Nigeria that somebody could not touch. Yes, but this man with so much blood in his hands. So now people, those who are aligned to his bloody type of leadership, have been protesting, threatening fire and brimstone. Yes, so that is what one of the things that is taking place in Nigeria right now. Now, those people are threatening the people of Nigeria. They want to bring the roof of Nigeria down, you know, but they are not talking about the victims of this guy, those who lost family members, who were never given justice. So what right does he have to demand or to get justice that he never gave to others? So that's one of the things taking place. Though they be threatening, they are going to do this, going to do that. But the good thing is one great thing happened in the whole of the thing, this whole brouhaha. Yeah, the Hausa people that they have for 222 years held in captivity by force and by blackmail of being Islamic brothers and sisters, but they turn around and murder them, rape their women in the mosque, impose taxation on their farmers in their farms, and kidnap them for ransom, kill them and sell body parts. Those people now have decided that they are not going to be aligning with them anymore. Otherwise, Nigeria will be on fire right now because they tame them and raise them, brainwash them, make them poor to do whatever they want them to do. They have been their weapons, but they lost that very important weapon to them. So that is what is making this whole thing. So free air Rufai has been raging in Nigeria. So who knows how? Okay, so that's one of those things that is happening. Then the other one is Prince Adeni. Yes, an ally of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Oh my God. They had created a fake agency. But I don't think it is fake. I don't believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not have an information or is not directly or remotely involved in that. But I know his chief of staff, Baja Biamila, is in the center of the storm about that. So that is raging. Now, Nigerians are asking questions as if they are going to be able to do anything anyway. They will ask all these questions and all this noise will amount to nothing. Then we'll be waiting for up next. But for the records, they are making a lot of noise, asking questions about how that agency came about, that the agency had connection with the central bank, the guy insisting that it is a legitimate agency and all that, you know. So we are talking about a lot of budgetary allocation made by the National Assembly went into running that agency. So how all this came about, something we have not been able to decipher. We are hoping that maybe perhaps along the line, we know something, but I am a Nigerian, knowing fully what Nigeria is. I tell you, it's going to be another story. In another few weeks, it's over, and there will be up next. All right? Now, another one from Delta State of Nigeria came ex-governor Ifeanyi Ato Okowa. Yes, ex-governor, who has been everything that there is to be except being in position to run for the presidency of Nigeria. He has been secretary to combined Ika local government areas in Delta State. He has been a chairman of that local government. He has been commissioners of 3 ministries in that state. Yeah, 3 ministries. And then from there, he became the secretary to the state government of Delta. From being a secretary to state government, he became a senator, one-term senator. From there, he came back and became governor of Delta State for 8 years. And during those 8 atrocious years, a lot of money was, a lot of fraud committed. And the highest point being the fraud of 1.3 trillion naira that was not accounted for under his watch, and for which he was arrested and taken to the EFCC detention camp in Rivers State. He came out of it and then shifted from his party, People's Democratic Party, PDP, they called it, and then joined the ruling party, APC. And then we have this thing that they say in Nigeria, that when you join the APC, all your sins are forgiven. He joined the APC, and truly, all his sins are forgiven. Maybe I will say temporarily, because we are looking forward to a revolution in Nigeria, where all those who stole from Nigeria will have to account for what they stole from the people of Nigeria. So right now, his sins have been forgiven, and then he is in a senatorial race now to return to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, typical of the corrupt Nigerian governors. Because they are jobless, because they don't have anything to do outside politics, when they leave office, the next thing is for them to return to Senate. I believe that is supposed to be a demotion for somebody who has been governor of a state with a budget and under his watch, now returning to Senate. That is a sign of joblessness. But they are shameless, they are jobless, they are insensitive, they don't care. They will always, all of them, 90% of them, want to return to the Senate. So Okawa is taking his time, to want to return to the Senate. Sad, but me, I am not angling for any election in Nigeria. My work, my talk is about, because the country is rotten and rudderless, the country is useless, has been made useless, beautiful country made useless by criminals. Yeah, generations of criminals. So the country is so bad right now. Nigeria is it's at the canvas, so bad that the only thing to do to fix that country is to clean up the mess. Clean up the mess before we can start talking about democracy and election. But right now, they are positioning themselves for election. My prayer is that the election will lead to revolution, or a revolution will precede an election in Nigeria. That is my work. That is what I'm praying for. That is what I'm working for. That is what I'm preparing the minds of my fellow compatriots on, and nothing else. But they have a timetable for an election. So Ifeanyi Okowa is in that election. They said he won the senatorial ticket for APC against another charlatan, Ned Nwoko, the show guy. Anyway, so that is where we are with our 1.3 trillion naira in his pocket. He is now intimidating us. He has thugs, a litany of thugs, a lot of frauds. Everything about him and his boys are. One of his boys donated 200 million naira. This is a young man to his campaign. This is a young man who has never had a job. Yes, he has never had a job. Yes, he has never had a job in his life. His father and mother did not leave him any real estate that would amount to that. And he was never a CEO of any company. This young man doled out 200 million to support Okowa's campaign. Now, our people are not asking questions about the source of this money. All they see is the money. They don't see what is behind the money. Where does the money come from? This part of the money that they stole from our coffers. Yes. And then the people are so scared and they have been made so poor that they cannot open their mouth to say anything. And truly, when they do open their mouths, they will send thugs after them. They will kidnap them, kill them, and stuff like that in order to silence them. That is the jungle Nigeria has become. So, God, I don't want an election. Honestly, I do not want an election. If I have my way, I will topple the government in Nigeria. Yeah, topple the Nigerian system. Because this is not, the Nigerian people are being reared like animals. This is not a country anymore. Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is crying for help. But sadly, Nigerians are not going to get any help. They have to do it by themselves. But when you see the people who angle to be leaders in Nigeria, and when you look at the attitude of the young Nigerian who does not understand that his future is being taken away from him, who does not understand the urgency required of him to wake up and begin to ask questions, you will shake your head. And that is why I'm 64 years old, coming out. A lot of my friends in Nigeria are retired. Yes, but I am here standing up for Nigerians, standing up for the younger generation of Nigerians, majority of whom do not even understand what I am doing on their behalf. They see me, some of them have been programmed to see some of us as enemies because we are telling them the right thing to do. We are telling them to wake up. The young Nigerian is not waking up. The young Nigerian is after quick fix. The young Nigerian is driven. The young Nigerian is driven by instant gratification. The young Nigerian has no depth. Yes, sadly, has no depth. They cannot think critically. They cannot think analytically. They are not able to think forensically. They see people who are robbing them and living in criminal opulence. They line behind them for the pittances that they get, which makes it look like the demonstration Stalin did with a chicken with pulled up feathers. That is what it is. Their skins are bleeding, but they have grains, and they will go for the grains. The oppressors will give them grains, and they will continue to follow. They are not angry. They are not disturbed. They are not worried. They don't seem concerned about their future. They see what young people in other countries are doing, but they think it's a joke. They celebrate them for making breakthroughs. But there in Nigeria, they are not able to do so. Why? 1, poverty. 2, religious nationalism. 3, tribalism, nepotism. Yes, then the quest for instant gratification, hunger, according to the hunger in the land. Yes, so that is what all those things that militate against the young Nigerian from waking up to do what he must do. Then the division between the north and the south of Nigeria, made possible by Fulani elites who do not want Nigeria to unite for the good of the whole of the country, because they know that if the country unites, they will be put out of business. They have held the Hausa people in captivity for 222 years and for 65 years as citizens of Nigeria. They have found a way to connect with some criminals from across the country to keep their static holding Nigeria in captivity, ongoing. But we are at the point where there is nothing else to do but to rebel. Are the Nigerians able to rise up? Well, that is a question for tomorrow. But we are working, we are talking to them, we are waking as many people as we can wake up to understand, for them to understand that there is a problem that must be solved. Otherwise, the country runs a risk of a second colonization, which actually is already happening. Yes, so that's that about that. Then in Ebonyi State, 4 or 5 years ago, there was a governor of Ebonyi State. Yes, the governor of Ebonyi State, who is now the Minister of Works and Housing in Nigeria. Yes, yes. David Umahi. David Umahi was governor of Ebonyi State until 2023. All right? When Bola Ahmed Tinubu came through the back doors with the help of Fulani elites, led by the corrupt and morally bankrupt Satan in Sokoto, they call Saad Abubakar, and some other Fulani elites and their cohorts from around the country. They brought Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Rufai, brought Bola Ahmed Tinubu through the back doors to become president of Nigeria in an election that he never won. They had it their way. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Dave Umahi as governor of Ebonyi State as Minister of Works and Housing. And since he assumed that office, a lot of controversies over inflated contract sums and all that. But I'm going to go back to his governorship of Ebonyi State. There was this ADB, African Development Bank project monitoring that they had. 5 engineers were sent there as monitoring engineers. They went there to discuss with him about the modalities for carrying out that funded project. He wanted it done his own way because he was state governor. He wanted to control what happened. And these young men, 5 of them, told him, no, this is a special program. We are to be held accountable, if we don't do what we're supposed to do right. So a heated argument allegedly took place. Right after the argument, they walked away. They were just walking away, and all of them were kidnapped. 5 of them were kidnapped. And to this day, nothing is known about their whereabouts. But from what people say, they said those people, he announced that those people had died. And the police in Nigeria corrupt police in Nigeria, presented the families with the wrong dead bodies of supposedly these young men, 5 of them in number. So painful. Yes, their families have been calling for justice. Ex-Governor Umahi is still sitting in his position, and fingers are being pointed at him as the one responsible for what happened to those people. As we speak, nothing, no justice for them. So, and this is Nigeria, a country where people act with impunity and then get away with it. Will Dave Umahi get away with this crime? I don't know. How come the police has not been able to do a thorough investigation? Why is it that when this type of things happen in Nigeria, they are not able to investigate and reach a conclusion that will be favorable or make that will seem to lead to justice. Yes, we are waiting for justice for those Nylon engineers seconded to Ebonyi State to inspect projects. Yes, and they have been missing since the past 5 years. 5 years. Families in limbo. They don't know what to do, whether to bury or do not. Nobody is coming forward to tell the people where things are. And that is not the type of Nigeria we want to be from. Seriously, that is not the Nigeria that we want to be from. Yes, a Nigeria where some people act with impunity. Only the poor get punished. The rich with money, they buy the police, buy the trial judges, buy up the lawyers, they compromise evidence, and then the victims suffer. How long? Why should Nigeria be run that way? Yes, why should Nigeria be run that way? All right, from Dave Umahi, so we are waiting. We are going to continue to put the pressure to continue to demand answer from the police and from every person that is involved or who knows something, or those who are directly or remotely involved with what happened, so we can get a closure for the families of these young men who were slaughtered, perhaps kidnapped. Let me not say dead now, but even though they said, yeah, because they gave them dead bodies. And then those women, the wives of the victims, they are very smart people. They sent samples of those dead bodies that they were given by the Nigerian police, corrupt police, to bury. They sent those samples to an independent laboratory here in the United States. And guess what? The result came out that those bodies that they were given were not the bodies of those engineers. So, Dave Umahi, you may run, or you will not be able to hide. We will continue the heat on this until justice is done. All right. Now, the next one, notorious Gumi, Ahmad Gumi. Yes, Ahmad Gumi is a rogue Islamic cleric. I don't even know who listens to him. Any person who listens to Gumi will go to hellfire, because he is not, I don't know, I think he's a preacher for Satan and not for God. Yeah, although unless Allah is something else. Yeah, but if it is Allah that is Almighty God, Gumi has no place. Yeah, he will go to hell. He has been one of those who sponsor terrorism in Nigeria. He speaks for them. He asks for them. He challenges everybody on their behalf. He tells them, tell the Nigerian authorities, tell the people, try to make a justification why those who have murdered countless numbers of Nigerians, yes, including women and children, should be given, a reprieve, all right, and rehabilitated for them to carry on with their lives without anything for their victims. That is the Nigeria we have right now, where government negotiates with terrorists and bandits. They negotiate with killers with a lot of money. And then they send those killers to Hajj in the north. Katsina State governor was exposed that he sent those who have killed Nigerians to perform Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Yes, that God in Saudi Arabia, I don't think he's a God. Because if it is a real God, he will come with people with blood in their hands. Yes, something is not right. Seriously, something is not right. Yes, so that's Gumi. I said the insecurity in Nigeria is worsening by the day. A lot more people are being slaughtered. Those who are responsible are never held accountable because their masterminds are in government. Their masterminds are emirs and sultans in the north. Their masterminds are the ones holding the microphones in mosques across the country. Their masterminds are Fulani elites in the political class who drive the country to who are driving the country to extinction. And they have their branches, they have covers in the military, they have covers in the armed forces, they have covers with the DSS. So that is why they believe that they own Nigeria and they can do whatever they want with no one holding them accountable. But we are getting to the point where that is not going to happen anymore. Where because nobody is going to be sitting down and see his or her family being wiped out without reaction. So Nigeria is on a fast lane to Somalia. Yes, that is where we are racing to. It is sad how it is going. Yes, there is Aminu Sokoto. Yes, the young man who was the mastermind of the 2011 bombing of the United Nations building in Abuja. Yes. You know where he was arrested? He was arrested in the house of Kashim Shettima, who happens to be the vice president of Nigeria today. What business did they have together? And that's a question Nigeria has not been able to answer. Nigerians opened their eyes and saw this man being picked as the vice presidential candidate and then the vice president of their country. And they couldn't do a damn thing. Problem with Nigeria. Problem with Nigeria. Nigerian people are people who can't take any action. And these criminals oppressing them know that for a fact that they cannot do a damn thing. They can't wake up and rise up to get anything done. So they get worse. They do worse things. Yes. So Aminu Sokoto is enjoying freedom today. He's walking around. Hundreds of people, scores of people were massacred in an action that he masterminded. That's the Nigeria they have right now. That's not the Nigeria I want going forward. Yes. Then, in Benue State, 2 weeks ago, there was a report of the killing of a Fulani chairman of Miyetti Allah. Miyetti Allah has been recognized here in the United States as a terrorist organization. They have branches all over Nigeria. They are the biggest sponsor of terror in Nigeria. But they claim that this one was a man of peace. His name is Ado. The report stated that they were invited for a peace meeting. And on their way back, he was ambushed and killed. And then, since then, there have been 2 reprisal attacks from the Fulanis. Now the question, what we don't know is actually those who were responsible for his slaying. It's either Fulanis who did not like his peaceful posturing, who want the killing in that place to continue, or aggrieved members of families, or from the people from the state who feel that for all that have been happening to their people, they don't hold the mastermind and the actors responsible. They kill and go, nobody tries them, nobody does anything. So maybe perhaps those are the ones who went to avenge the killing of their kids and kins. But as expected, I don't know. But the people Fulani elite, led by the corrupt and morally bankrupt Satan in Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, he was quick to jump, pressing the security of agencies to ensure that thorough investigations were done and culprits brought to justice. This same man is the man who has been keeping quiet. In fact, he's one of the masterminds of terrorism in Nigeria. Let's not be nice to him. It's clear. He has never condemned any killing of innocent and defenseless Nigerians from other places in Nigeria. He rises up only when a Fulani is killed or something happens to him, maybe in retaliation from what they have been doing. Yes, that shameless man. The shameless man who threatened the people of Nigeria, who blackmailed the people of Nigeria in 2020 3, that nobody could stop the inauguration of their candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yes, from becoming the president of Nigeria. Yes, Tinubu is part of them. They brought him to power. I'm sure he signed a pact with them to continue the killer policies of Muhammadu Buhari. And he has done exceedingly well in that direction. The massacre Nigerians, he does absolutely nothing. I'm here, I'm sure you listening to me, you are Nigerian, I'm sure you heard about the kidnap of students and teachers in Oyo State. And sadly, one of those teachers was beheaded. They just released those children. Only God knows how much money was paid. But they claim it was a military operation, but I don't believe so. Because the government in Nigeria is not a government anybody can or should believe. Because it's a lying government, it's a rogue government, government of criminals, government of drug dealers, government of certificate forgers, government of bandits, and government of terrorists. So nothing good, nothing true ever comes out from them. So, but, well, we are happy that they have released those young children and teachers. And looking at that, I don't even question so much what is taking. Some people are saying that it was a political kidnap. But let me not go to that angle. I want to go to the angle of that they were released. And then I tell you, the worst is not over. We are going to hear some more things. Because the security institution in Nigeria, security system in Nigeria has collapsed. We don't have no police to police Nigeria. Though they are talking about state police. State police is as good as nothing. What is the meaning of state police? The state police is to empower the corrupt state governors to have the ammunition, the tool that they need to kill and destroy their opposition. All right, to whip people in line. Any person who raises fingers. And they are acolytes of criminals. So nothing is going to happen with the state police. That's why we have a variant opinion about how to police Nigeria. Community, my hometown police, is better. Where everybody in a community, everybody in a hometown, everybody in an environment understands the terrain. They are emotionally attached to their safety and security. And I believe that they will do a better job than putting an institution as sensitive as security in the hands of state governors. It will not work. So that is why we are pushing. We are asking, if you want to do any such improving the policing system in Nigeria, let us do hometown, homegrown police. Though that means every community in Nigeria will have to go and register a police force with the CAC in Nigeria, just as it is done here. Everywhere in this country, every little town has its own police. And everybody knows everybody. They know the roughnecks. Yes, when they see strange people in their town, they are quicker to respond and forestall any threat to safety and security. Yes, just like this. All right, so there has to be that emotional attachment to policing. There has to be that emotional attachment to security. There has to be the real thing to recruit those who are locals, who understand the place, to drive the policing of their environment. And all they need is funding. And the type of funding that we suggest is the funding that is being used for this fake police that we have, federal police that we have, that cannot do a damn thing. When they liquidate the police force, they should transfer the funding to fund community policing. Yes. That way, all the police officers who work outside their places maybe if the communities decide that they want to retain them, they can retain them. You know, they are in their primary environment, where they were born. I mean, it cuts the cost of living for them and cost of taking care of their children. Some of them have homes in their immediate communities. Instead of renting, it helps them. They put up money for renting in their pocket and then put it into something else. You know, the cost of going to school, transportation, will be reduced. And they'll be more committed to doing the work without corruption, the way it is when they are outside their immediate homestead. So this is the reason why we're advancing a course for that. I think policing will be better done. Once the funding is in place, and then the control should be by the community themselves. No oversight control from outside. Yes, and this policing outfit that we propose should never be put in the hands of traditional rulers. It must be in the hands of the people themselves. They choose, from their community, how to monitor, how to budget, and how to police the police themselves, so they can do a good job, so nobody can take them and use them to do anything outside policing their immediate environment. That's the policing that we want, not the type of crappy police that they have. All right. So now, more. Sa'ad Abubakar, I want to pay a little more attention to him. This man is not a traditional ruler. But for some strange reasons, for as long as I have known Nigeria, that position of Sultan of Sokoto, I think some people don't understand something. In my own study of Nigerian history and African history, there was never a kingdom that was called Sokoto Kingdom. And so if there was no Sokoto Kingdom, how come we're having a Sultan in Sokoto? The Sultan of Sokoto thing came following the overrunning of the Hausa states, Hausa kingdoms. It's an Islamic enterprise. It's not anything that Nigeria constitutionally recognizes. But somehow, because they have always been in power, they have found a way to put that man or that position as a traditional institution. You cannot create a traditional institution in an environment where the driver belongs to a minority tribe and the subjects are a whopping majority of the people. Now, what happened to the Hausa people? They are supposed to be the kings of Sokoto. Otherwise, what we are seeing there is apartheid. And that is why they have the Sokoto Caliphate and its oligarchy. The oligarchy is apartheid in nature. They run the same thing that they ran in South Africa. Minority rule over majority. A majority that are massively uneducated. They made them illiterates. They turned them to be ignorant. They use them as pawns. They use them as weapons against Nigeria. They use them to slow down Nigeria. They're only good for their majority number in the north of Nigeria, for them to use them to win elections after elections. They use them as pawns, but they give absolutely nothing to them. They promote poverty. Yes, they promote poverty among the Hausa people. So when you see the Hausa are rebelling, this is one of the reasons they are rebelling. They are tired of being held in captivity. They are tired of being held in bondage. They are tired of being water fetchers. They are tired of being shoemakers. They are tired of being water fetchers. They are tired of making teas and frying eggs. They are tired of being megad. You will hardly find them as doctors. Not a lot of them are lawyers. Not enough of them are nurses. Not enough of them are in the academia. A majority of Hausa people, I would say over 80% of the entire population of over 66 million people in the north of Nigeria are stark illiterates. Yes. They shadow them with Islam. Who are the Islamic teachers? They are all Fulanis. They create a poverty-stricken system that they call Al-Majiri system. That is where they brainwash them. That's why they put the wrong Islamic ideologies in them. That is why where they tell them that their poverty is justified by Allah. That Allah is responsible for their poverty. Allah is responsible for their disease. Allah is responsible for their ignorance. And that whatever happens to them, they should thank Allah. But these same Fulanis who are doing this have their children coming to school here in the United States. They have their children in the UK. They have their children in Saudi Arabia. They have their children in Kuwait. They have their children in Bahrain. But the Hausa people are left as a rudderless people. Yes, their children, numbering over 30 million as we speak, are in streets across the north, now spilling down south with cap in hand, plate in hand. Yes, with one pair of shirt, begging for food from AM to PM, from house to house, in a country of abundance called Nigeria that they were born into. State governors of the north of Nigeria, in the north of Nigeria, called north of Nigeria, all Fulanis. They have state budgets, they budget for education. Whatever they budget for education, they put it in their pockets. They don't care about these children that they are educating to hell. Tell me that that is not genocide. That is genocide taking place right inside Nigeria that not many people have been talking about. Yes. Yeah, that is the kind of Nigeria that we have right now. We can't afford that type of Nigeria anymore. And that is why something has to be done, and done urgently. And that is why the Hausa people, a few of them who have seen the light, are now beginning to rise up and beginning to ask questions. And that is why their oppressors have been restless and have taken to shooting up the country. But how far are they going to go shooting up Nigerians? Well, this is the reason why we are calling all Nigerians. This is your fight. This is your fight. This is our fight. The Hausa people in Nigeria are our brothers and sisters. They are Africans for a start. They are Africans. We may have religious variances with them. They are a loving people. They are non-violent. They are not killers. Whatever they became, they were victims of a bad Islamic teaching. Now they are beginning to see the light. They now know that what has been holding them down has nothing to do with Islam. They now know that those who manipulate them using Islam are liars. And that is why they are killing them in their villages. That is why they unleash and go and rape them in their mosque and shout Allahu Akbar. Who does that? Which true Muslim will rape fellow Muslims in a mosque and say Allahu Akbar? Which Allah are they talking about? Is it the Allah, the real Allah or the fake Allah? And yet to know which Allah will permit a Fulani man to rape an Hausa woman inside a mosque. And they say Allahu Akbar. And then the Fulani elites will keep quiet. Yes, they keep quiet. They keep quiet over all the mayhem that the Fulani militias imported by men like Erufai, Saad Abubakar, Usman Yusuf, Ahmad Gumi, yes, and the rest of them involved in this, because their mission is to violently seize Nigeria for them to build a Fulani nation, God forbid, inside Nigeria, in line with the vision of their founding father, Osman Dan Fodio, who told them that they must take the battle to the last town adjoining the Atlantic Ocean and dip the Quran there. You know what? They have agents across Nigeria. They have agents in that Niger Delta that is so close to the Atlantic Ocean. And one of their agents is Asari Dokubo. Now, if you're a young Nigerian from the Niger Delta, you must be ready. All right? You must be ready. All right? And these criminals from the Fulani race dominate everything in Nigeria. They dominate the armed forces. They dominate the economy. They dominate just everything. They hold the whole country hostage. They hold the entire country hostage. You want to believe something? Yes. You want to hear something? Yes. The fake Sultan in Sokoto, Fulani Sultan in Sokoto, has oil blocks in my Niger Delta. Yes, he has oil blocks, just like many other Fulanis have oil blocks in the Niger Delta. These guys are oppressors. This is why the rest of Nigeria must rise up. Why does he have oil blocks in my Niger Delta? I cannot have nothing in the north of Nigeria. They discovered a massive amount of gold in Zamfara state. What did they do? They brought their militias to prevent Nigeria from asking questions about how to manage the gold reserve. They are excavating, they are exploiting that mineral resources with their corrupt Chinese inside Nigeria. Yes, Chinese are part of the problem Nigeria has, in addition to France and other rogue countries from Europe, and then their Arab brothers. They are responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. Chinese companies are involved in the blood spilling in Nigeria. They are part of those arming the militias in the north of Nigeria. Yes, Saad and his cohorts have oil blocks in my Niger Delta. So if you're a Niger Delta young person, you cannot say now that you did not hear. If you are one of those who follows Asari Dokubo blindly, he gives you guns. All right? And when he's broke, he will create a confusion and talk about Niger Delta struggle, criminalized now. And then as soon as he's settled, he keeps quiet. The same thing with Tompolo. So if you are one of those youths who follows Asari Dokubo and Tompolo, you must be ready to fight for your freedom. You must be ready to fight for your rights. You must be ready to take them on. You must be ready to demand from them what they have taken from these criminals who rob us blind and they pollute our environment. Look at the Niger Delta. Yes, the golden goose that lays the eggs. Where is it? No hospitals, no good schools, no good roads. Nothing is working there. The place is like a place ravaged by war. Yes, but that is where what drives the Nigerian economy comes out from. You don't have anything to show for it. And one Asari Dokubo will come out to tell you that he's fighting for Niger Delta. One Tompolo will come out to tell you that in the name of Niger Delta, they give you guns and you are following them like animals. They give you drugs. And then when you take their drugs, you lose sense of who you are. You are fighting for them. Look at Tompolo. The other day, Tompolo, a school dropout, donated 10 billion naira to the Delta state government. They call security fund. For real, what did he do? What job is he doing? They gave him monitoring of oil pipelines in a country that has a navy, in a country that has an air force, in a country that has a police, in a country that has different layers of security systems. Yes, a criminal was given the responsibility of monitoring Nigeria's petroleum pipelines, something that has national security implication. Yes, that's what is happening in Nigeria. And then you come and tell me you are a Niger Delta youth. Now I tell you that we are no garden youths. So it's time for you. So listen, we got to have to do this showdown. We got to have to do a showdown in Nigeria. Nigeria is a very beautiful country, but that is not a country. Nigeria is now ravaged destroyed by criminality. Criminals all over Nigeria. Criminals have taken over Nigeria. Where are our intellectuals? Where are our intellectuals? We all have chains of degrees. School dropouts are leaders in Nigeria. We hail them. We call them leaders. How dare you call Tompolo a leader? Why is Asari Dokubo a leader? Yes, Tom Ateke a leader. All these guys have got blood in their hands. They work for the invading Fulani elites to ravage our Niger Delta, take our oil, but we don't take anything in the north of Nigeria. You must be ready for a showdown. Young people in Nigeria, yes. And that is the reason why we have been telling you that the best way to get Nigeria out of this hell is through an open something, open country, building an open country, open Nigeria with free, fair, equal, unlimited, and unconditional access to opportunity for every Nigerian to grow and develop and progress and prosper according to his or her abilities and level of competency in a non-threatening environment. So why should some people be living in opulence while majority of the country's citizens, especially women and children and our elderly, live below poverty line? They are hungry. Do you know today, a young girl called me from Nigeria crying that since yesterday, she and her family have not eaten anything. I swear to the Almighty God. Today, not just, it was another group, every day is something. So some of us here, me here, they look up to me like I'm this billionaire. No, I'm struggling. So we give up everything and then we come back to the same level where they are in Nigeria. We have to scavenge, struggle for food. Yes, because of the bad condition at home. And then you are not waking up. And then Boala had the audacity to call the diasporas that the people who earn 60,000 naira in Nigeria are living better than us. Absolutely, yes, they probably are. Because we live for ourselves and then we live for those in Nigeria. I support people that I don't even know, that I may never meet. Yes, so how will I do that and really be stupendously rich like Dangote? Dangote, do you hear him? Tony Elumelu, do you hear him talk about what is taking place in Nigeria? Jim Ovia, do you hear him? Otedola, do you hear him? Mike Adelonga, do you hear him? Bua, do you hear any of those people? No. Nigeria is not, whatever is happening, even people are dying, it doesn't matter to them. As long as they are making their money off of Nigerians, exploiting the people of Nigeria, you never hear them speak up against the insecurity in Nigeria. That tells you that something is not right with Nigeria. And that tells you, the ordinary Nigerian, that you have to do something to wake up. Or you know what is taking place in Nigeria now? It's just a preamble of what is to come. So that is why here, when they say the incarceration of Rufai, it is nothing but a karma. If he likes, he can perish there. He has destroyed a lot of people. He has destroyed thousands of innocent and defenseless Nigerians because of his greed for power. Who is he?
They wrote and told National Hospital that...
All right, here, Rufai's wife.
And you know how National Hospital is. It's a busy time. 10 a.m. is a busy time. It was in the morning, around 7, that they notified us that they've changed the time to 10.
His wife is here complaining about the treatment being meted out on him. I'm talking about the wife of Rufai. Just listen.
Yeah. We went. The doctor examined him in the presence of another colleague. The chief medical director came in together with the deputy chief.
Rufai, now he's a god. The chief medical director came to examine him. And then the deputy chief medical director came to examine him because he is who? Who the hell is he? When I was sick, who called me? When my mom died, how many of them called me? Why are they so important? Why is his life so precious? Why is his life more precious than the life of the ordinary Nigerian that is being murdered every day? Let's continue.
Medical director, and we consulted. The doctor told them that Malam's blood pressure is elevated.
Yes, blood pressure is elevated.
His blood sugar is higher than normal.
Higher than normal.
He would want to admit him for observation for a few days. The chief medical director concurred, and he said, notify them. Right there in their presence, I called the most senior ICPC officer that came with him, and I said, this is what the doctors want to do. He said, it's not for me to decide. I said, no, I'm not asking you to decide. Call whoever you need to call. Let them tell us what we need to do. He came back in the presence of everybody to say that they said National Hospital should write a letter.
Right.
Saying that he needs to be admitted.
Right. Did they write the letter?
Now, Arufai, he has imprisoned a lot of people. When he was governor, he kept so many people in captivity. He didn't care about their health. He didn't care about their feelings. Now he understands the difference. For this little period of time that his freedom was taken away from him, he's not able to handle it. He's looking for doctors who will give him, who will unprofessionally grant him a reprieve so he can go inside the hospital bed or in a particular room, and they call amenity room in those days when we were in Nigeria, where he will be pampered. No. He needs to find out from Nnamdi Kanu, who he was a part of those who put him in the condition where he is. He needs to find out from Nnamdi Kanu what it takes to be in incarceration for as long as he has been. And he is part of those who want him dead. So who the hell is he? So, well, here the next that is coming. Fraudulent doctors, rogue doctors anywhere, they should be punished.
They wrote the letter.
Right.
I personally went, took it, got it stamped. I have an acknowledgement.
Right.
And out of the blues, they arrested the doctor.
They arrested the doctor.
The personal physician of Malam, the same doctor that...
who wanted to take him away from the hospital
the ICPC
and put him in a cooler for saying eating chicken.
What was supposed to be a court-approved medical visit became an opportunity for political associates to visit your husband, and that this amounted to a breach of the court's directive. How do you respond to that allegation?
There is no court directive, sir. Right. The court directive was very clear. He should have unfettered access to medical care.
He has no right to any access.
We are concerned, that is what
he denied others.
Right, but do you accept that a medical visit in those circumstances should be used strictly for medical purposes, or do you believe the ICPC is interpreting the order too narrowly?
It is interpreting the order too narrowly. What I will say about this is that we requested for 5 p.m. because of the same issue. It will be less busy, there will be less people. They opened the door. Now, after the consultation, they always insist on a report. And that letter, they asked Malam to wait to collect the letter. Malam was sitting in their reception. There were people already there. Malam is a prominent person.
Prominent criminal.
Indeed.
And so if in the process something went wrong, people that they didn't want to see happens to be there, how do you blame him?
Yeah, well, that's
a conversation. Yeah, he had conversations.
Right.
In a public place. It's not as if it was a closed door meeting. It's not as if, he called somebody
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was Malam Arufai's wife. Just yes. Hey, sincere apologies, for the disruptions. So that was Arufai's wife speaking to Arise Television about what happened when you seek medical, whatever it is. When the politicians, when they go to hospitals in Nigeria, they don't want to stay in prison. But when they are in position, they send people to prison with reckless abandon. So they cannot tolerate what it when they are right by themselves, in that enclosure. So they always look for ways to escape through getting medical permission to spend their time inside the hospitals where their political associates will be coming. So we are all Nigerians, so we master all this. I am not holding brief, making a case for him if he's truly sick, but I know he's not. So that's what they do. They will always feign illness when they are on the other side of the law. So that was what happened. Who is he? Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention for years. The first time they had him for 4 years. And they have had him for another 4 years now, to the extent of sentencing him to a lifetime in jail. And El-Rufai is played prominently in that arrangement. Because what Nnamdi Kanu is preaching, just like I'm preaching today, is against the order that they had established for Nigeria, for Nigeria's destruction, for Nigeria's retardation. Now the question for this generation is this: how long are we going to continue this? So when are we going to say we have had enough? So this is what is taking place in Nigeria. We have to change the trajectory of Nigeria. But changing the trajectory of Nigeria is going to take a lot of effort. We must work. We must work. Oppressors never hand out freedom to the oppressed. The oppressed must fight for their freedom. I am looking right now at dead bodies, tons of dead bodies of Hausa people, innocent and defenseless Nigerians who were massacred in Kaduna, and looking at the pictures under El-Rufai's watch as the governor. Yes, yes. Those who live in glass houses must not throw stone. El-Rufai lived in a glass house and he threw stones. Now the stones are coming around. And again, I tell these guys that what they have done to Nigeria is going to come full circle to haunt them. What we are seeing today is just a preamble of what is to come to Nigeria. It is coming. And Nigeria will not escape this. So that is why we laugh at them when they talk about their election in Nigeria. How are you going to hold the election in Nigeria? Well, let us see how it is going to go. But I know that everything that they will do will lead to a revolution. Because the people of Nigeria are tired. They should be tired. I know there are some that are not tired. Some that are not tired of being slaves. Some that are not tired of being exploited. We see a lot of them from my Delta state where I come from. Yes, a lot of them who are not tired. A lot of them who live in servitude, who don't want to be free. No matter how you tell them. No matter how you tell them. They got to be free. Yes. They find one excuse or the other to remain in captivity. That is the situation going on in Nigeria. So if you are a Nigerian watching me, please share this message. Let it get to as many Nigerians as possible. All right, so we all can ride. I hear somebody send me a message. You fight for the Hausa people. You are not an Hausa person. I am an Hausa person because Hausas are Nigerians.
Right. You informed him at 7 p.m.
Okay.
He does not have access to a phone. How is it that he arranged to...
Anyway, let's just leave that alone. Yes. So,
to have a meeting with politicians.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I obviously can't answer that, but your husband's personal physician has now been arrested.
Yes, sir.
The commission says he's being investigated over
all right, let's just leave this alone. Okay, so this is up close of what is taking place in Nigeria right now. And then my ex-governor, who is supposed to be from my state, a man who stole 1.3 trillion. Yes, because he has not been able to account for it, it's assuming he stole it. If he could not account for it, then he stole it. Okowa went to the EFCC to ask for the release of his international passport so he could travel abroad to attend to an urgent medical situation that he's having. Really? You see how shameless they are in Nigeria. A state governor for 8 years with budgetary allocation. Delta State has been one of those states that are collects the highest amount of funding from the federation account. in addition to 2.5 billion naira every month security votes that they collect, that they don't constitutionally. Just find a way to put it in the constitution that they will not account for it. So he can as well collect the money and put it in his pocket. He collected 2.5 billion naira every month for 8 years. You see how they amass their money? And the state is still most insecure. If you go to the forest across Delta State, Fulani headsmen are there positioned, raping our women, kidnapping our men, imposing taxation on them, preventing them from accessing their farm. Okawa was state governor for 8 years. All the security votes he put in his pocket. He never put it into the security of the state. That is how they are. That is how they are. Now he has the audacity to be going to demand for his passport so he could travel abroad to seek medical help for his condition. Haba, Nigerians, how long are we going to stay stupid? When are we going to learn anything? Yes, so this is a call on all of us to wake up and do what we must do right now and not tomorrow. Right now, it is urgent that we act. Otherwise, we will not have a Nigeria for our children. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. Yes, if you give me Nigeria this minute, I know what to do. I will rebuild the Nigerian military and come hard after the masterminds of terrorism in Nigeria. Yes, because the masterminds are not tortured or not touched. That is why this thing is festering. Bola Ahmed Tinubu eats and dines with the masterminds of terrorism. Yes, so that is why. So you can fight, you can go into the forest and shoot everything you want to shoot. If you don't touch the masterminds who are known, they are not hiding. They are not hiding. Touch them. Terrorism will come to an end. Yes, we know them. We know them. Me sitting here before you, I was a victim of terrorism. See my forearm. See the mark right there. 1991. Kano. I nearly lost my life. My friend was not as lucky. He lost his life. So I am a survivor of a massacre. And that is why I don't want it to happen to any other person. That is why I'm doing everything I can to wake the people of Nigeria up. My work is a call to action. And we must answer this call to save whatever is left of Nigeria. Otherwise, our children will not have a country that they will be proud of. It is our duty. It is now and not tomorrow. I don't understand why my generation of Nigerians inside Nigeria is not seeing the dangerous direction Nigeria is traveling with a president who was a drug dealer, certificate forger, and an identity thief, paired with a terrorist, and the founder of Boko Haram, in whose home the bombers of the United Nations building that killed scores of innocent people in 2011 in Abuja were arrested for them to mobilize for action. What are my peers in Nigeria doing? I can do all this that I am doing. It hurts to note how leaders of Nigeria's tomorrow, the young people and millions of Nigerian youths, don't know the history of Nigeria in Africa, not because they didn't want to, but because they were not taught. Our educational curriculum has a serious problem that need to be urgently addressed. Yes. So where are we? Why are we not waking up? Who is going to do this for us, if not we ourselves? It is time Time is of essence, and the time is now. Thank you very much for joining us for this event of this evening. We appreciate all those who are first-timers, and we employ you, if you have not subscribed to our channel, to do so. If you love what we do, or what you saw just this afternoon or this evening, please take a moment, share this message, like what we are doing, because all those actions will provoke YouTube to continue to recommend our messages for more people from Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world. It has been such a pleasure being with you. Good night from Houston, Texas. Bye until we see you again.